Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Lord Davy, and welcome to the ranking of all the levels and all the chapters in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Um, this is probably easily in my top 5 favorite games of all time. So now I'm just wanna, after doing a playthrough of it, of rewriting Star Wars, I want to do a little ranking. So we're gonna go from number 36 to finally number 1. Starting off at number 36, we are going into easy choice, Speeder Showdown. Now this for me, it's not even a competition of how this is the worst game or the worst level in the entire game. To give reference, there are timed challenges in LEGO Star Wars the complete saga, and for all 36 levels, and they all, except for 5, have a range of 10 minutes, all except for 5. This one is the only game that it gives you 15 minutes to complete. That is 50% more of the time needed. Or this level is so GD big, it's just unpleasant. And the thing about it, it's just so infuriating. It's just so much to do, because you have to take down these barriers, which I'm not doing it the traditional way. But you have to, if you're doing it in story mode, you have to take down 4 barriers. And first off, you gotta start with taking down 2 guys on the speeder, and then get an ATST, take down the little force field thing. And you gotta take down 3 speeders, and then you gotta take down, or you gotta build a ATST, and then you gotta take down 4 speeders, and then you gotta do another ATST, and then 5 speeders, and get another ATST. And then on top of that, there is an ending to where you have to take down every single, you have to pull 4 levers, and then get on an ATST and destroy the base. After all of that. This level is needlessly long. They should have followed the rule of 3, to where maybe like first time you go on speeder, you gotta take down 1 guy and then get an ATST, and then 2 guys and an ATST, and then 3 guys ATST, and then the gate opens. If they would have done that, that's fine. But the fact of the matter is they didn't, and it's just so long, and it's just so repetitive and just unnecessary. So the fact alone that it's so long and such a chore, like I'm cheating right now using explosives and whatnot, but this level is a pain in the ass and a half, and it easily gets a 36 spot. And number 35, we're going to The Empire Strikes Back, to the level Falcon Flight. Now, the reason why Falcon Flight is so low on this list is because it's just so punishing with the amount of torpedoes that you need, because there's not a single spot where you get a guaranteed torpedoes except in the worm mouse belly, but even then you have to get it at the right angle, and it's just so annoying, and you have to blow up all these ships at once, or all these turrets, and there's ships flying at you everywhere, and it's just a boring atmosphere. There's just ships and darkness and asteroids. And the only saving grace about this level is when you fly into the mouth of the beast, and the mouth closes and it doesn't open until you destroy the little parts inside of it. But this level is just so GD annoying, where you have to destroy these meteors and then collect a torpedo, and you gotta do it so many times, and then at the very end you gotta do it for an asteroid that has like, I don't know, 7 that you need to get all together. This isn't a fun level. Every time I play this level, I'm always dreading it. Now, the only part about it I find better than the Speeder Showdown is just because it's thankfully not as long. That's the only reason. Now, if this was longer than Speeder Showdown, this would easily take the last place spot, but thankfully it doesn't, and it also has that cool little worm mouth creature Easter egg, so that definitely bumped it up. For number 34, we're going back to Return of the Jedi. We're going to the finale, into the Death Star. Once again, another flying level. There's going to be a lot of flying levels at the bottom of this list, just because the flying levels are just not fun. Now, the biggest drawback to this level is you have to hunt down and kill these torpedo guys. And sometimes they just don't even spawn, and you'll be here just for a couple minutes just waiting for them to spawn, and then the torpedoes disappear. You have to hunt down a new one. It's not fun. This opening, it's not fun. And then when you get inside, you have to do the same thing for torpedoes, but thankfully they're stationary, so it's not as bad to collect. Pretty much all the complaints I have for the last level are what I have for this one. The saving grace, though, is the escape at the end is really, really cool. Like, that, escaping the Death Star with the fire behind you, that was really neat. But getting there by destroying all these starships, it personally, for me, drags it down so far. That's why it's number 34. And for number 33, we're going back to The Empire Strikes Back, and we're going to do Hoth Battle. Once again, another flying one. This one, it's just no bueno. Now, the reason why this one is a little higher versus the other two ones, I like the fact that you can fight the little probe droids and the ATST and the AT-ATs, but the fact of the matter is, taking down ATSTs are so just gosh darn annoying. Like, it wouldn't be as bad as if you didn't have to take down 4 or 5 of them if you don't know how to deal with this guy. But you have to destroy one here, then destroy a wall, then destroy another wall, then you have a whole gauntlet of enemies to kill, which isn't too bad if they will spawn a little more frequently. And you have him shooting, which makes it a big pain in the ass. So sometimes you have to just kill him just to get to the other torpedo thing. But unfortunately, with these bombs, they are very, very fucking annoying to... Yeah, like that. That shit pisses me off right there. The only reason why this one ranked a little higher level-wise is because, like I said, the difference of enemies is refreshing. Taking down an ATST with the wires is fun if you only had to do it maybe 2 or 3 times, but like 4 or 5, that's a little ridiculous. So that's why it's ranked so low at number 33. Now for number 32, we're going to go to Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And guess where we're going? Yep, that's right, you guessed it, another flying mission. This one's Gunship Cavalry. The reason why this is another torpedo mission, but the reason why this one got a little higher than the Hoth one is, frankly, it's just shorter. It's just shorter, and the atmosphere is cooler. I like the planet of Geonosis. They did a really good job setting up the desert planet, and it's not as hard. It's a little bit of a challenge to face the lasers. They can be a little tedious sometimes, but I mean, sometimes the challenge is a good thing. And in this case, I'll take a little bit of a challenge over doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Because if I get killed by a laser, that's on me, not not the game. So, and I think it's kind of neat, like the little base you have to blow up. Like you have to blow up like the 8 little screens, and then shoot off all the little, I don't know, the shield generators or whatever. It's fun. This isn't a vehicle level I dread as much, but it's still a vehicle level and not something I particularly care about. And now for number 31, we're going to go to A New Hope for, once again, another vehicle level. This time we're going to Chapter 6, Rebel Attack. But the reason this one is a little bit higher is because every single spot where you need a torpedo, it's just right there for the pickings. And, funnily enough, unlike the 36 spot, the Speeder Showdown, where in the challenge you were given 15 minutes, this one, surprisingly, it's 7 minutes just because it's such a short little level. They're like, yeah, you can definitely collect these 10 hidden blue mini kits in 7 minutes, and you can. It's fairly easy to do because it's just such a gimme level. Just get your torpedoes from one spot, like it's literally right here, and then the spot to blow it up's right there. And it's not that big of a hassle. It's annoying, but it's not like infuriating. And the the Death Star run, it's kind of cool with Vader and the two Tie Fighters behind you. I like that, and the feeling you get when blowing up the Death Star the first time, it feels so much better than blowing up the second Death Star. It's really hard to describe, but it just feels right. They just got done trying to avoid Vader and Han coming in to save the day. It's a very well done cinematic moment, but all the same, it's still a flying level. And these little AT or not ATs, these little TIE fighting bastards, they don't mess around, and this level can be quite annoying. But it's of the other flying levels, it's not as bad. While we're on episode 4, we're going to go to our 30th spot, the second worst like non-vehicle level, Rescue the Princess. This level, it's just bad for one reason in particular, and it's these GD helmets. Having to having to just take on the whole empire and not get shot and always going back for the helmets. It's so fucking infuriating. This is a mechanic in the game that I always did not look forward to. It's just annoying. Plain and simple, it's annoying. And that's really the reason why it's so low on the list. Honestly, if it was like anything else, like maybe if Luke and Han were already disguised and he just had to fight through the Empire as is, it would have probably been higher because like the setting's cool and whatnot. And then at the end where you have all these different prison cells and you have to find the right one, that's kind of neat. And destroying the cameras to make the troops go away, that's also a fun little concept. But like the fact of the matter is, you have to keep your helmet on and not sure you get hit. Otherwise, you got to go back, or you got to destroy all the enemies in the area, and then you can go forward. It's just too much and not fun, and it's just a pain. That's really all I can describe it as. Just a fucking big pain. Now, speaking of the Death Star, at number 29 is the very next level, Death Star Escape. Essentially for the same reason, because it does have the mechanic to where you have to rely on these damn helmets to get what you want and to get into certain places, and it's fucking annoying. Like, the whole setup for this is annoying, and this puzzle down here is quite tedious because you have to pull this lever 3 times. You have to clear that out. You have to ride this vehicle on that platform, and you have to do that twice for this level. The only reason why this ranks like even slightly above, but you have to climb up there, swing over, get a vehicle, ride the vehicle, open that door up, and then if you're not wearing a helmet, you have to backtrack. But the only reason, like, why it was saving grace over the last little bit, because there's one part in this level which I thought was super cool, where you have to follow this lone little stormtrooper down a hallway, opening doors up along the way, and then when you get to the end, it repeats the scene in Episode 4 where Han's following a couple, and then it opens the door, and there's a whole fucking army behind the door. That is such a fun little thing to happen whenever I'm doing playthroughs. It's just funny, and I like that. And even though this level, I personally might find it a little more annoying than the last level, that scene alone just nicks it slightly above. And while we're on episode 4, once again for the number 28 spot, we're going to do Secret Plans. Now, one part about this level in particular that makes me a little bit mad, this is the only level in the game where when doing this in story mode, you cannot get a single mini kit or red square in the game. You just can't. For whatever reason, you just can't at all. Like, So when doing it in free play, you have to get literally everything in your go around because you can't make any progress doing it the first time around. And it's just kind of a boring level. I don't find anything of this level to be really just incredible. It's just kind of there. I suppose it does its purpose of getting the plans out and showing stormtroopers and whatnot. Like it's a fine introduction to the original trilogy, but it just personally doesn't do it for me. And then you got to do a little crane puzzle with C-3PO. It's just okay. Now this gets a little higher because I do like the smoking door functions, where you see little enemies come out and you have to defeat them through the smoke. That's a fun little thing, but there's just a lot of puzzles in this, and it takes really long to do, and you're not really with Leia that long in the game, and then you're just stuck with the droids, which the droids aren't really that fun to play as, and then two just nameless, well, there's Captain Antilles and then a nameless trooper. And we'll quit picking on episode 4 for now. Now we're going to get back to picking on episode 6. And for this one, I'm kind of surprised when ranking this it wasn't a little lower, but looking back there are a little bit of fun moments. I'm going to go with the Battle of Endor. This one, for me, it almost always ranks a little bit lower on my list, but this time it ranked a little bit higher because the atmosphere. I love the atmosphere, especially like this opening segment with the big ass trees and the Ewok village, and there's another part in this spot that's really cool too, where you're in this big battlefield and there's ATSTs and like Ewoks all over the place and catapults, and it's just fucking mania going on. And even though this level's really long, like really long, it does a really good job with just setting up the atmosphere, and I'm okay with that. If you wanna just make a really long game or a level with cool atmosphere, as long as it's good, which it's mid, it's okay. It's not a level I look forward to. It's just there. It's number 26. That one we're gonna go to the Phantom Menace, and it's gonna be for Chapter 5, Retake Theed Palace. So Naboo for me was always just kind of a mid place, watching like the prequels and whatnot. This opening area, I do love it though when first playing it, because it's just fucking pandemonium with the damn droids everywhere, firing on you down across, and there's droidicas everywhere, and it can be pretty challenging, but like it's not the worst. It's just long. The length really does it for me, and there's just big open areas. I get that it's a palace, but it just feels a little too big, if that makes any sense. Now, why I do rank this a little better than the last level, the Battle of Endor, is because at the very end of the mission, it does like the only thing in the game where you have to recruit some pilots in order to get them out of the hangar and do some damage in the sky. And then for whatever reason, I just think that's fun. I like the idea of the enemy just like holding hostages and you have to free the hostages. That for me is a little fun. So I like that little tidbit at the end that you have to do, because it's just different and neat. Alright, now for our 25 spot. I'm sorry. We're once again going to have to go back to A New Hope. And this time we're doing the Mos Eisley Spaceport. Reason why this one is solo, again, it is long. Like, this one is one of the few ones, just like of the 5 levels I mentioned, where the time for the challenge is altered. And this one's 12 minutes. It's not as bad as 15, but it is 12, which is a fucking long time. The reason why this one gets a little higher in the list is because it has one of the best Easter eggs in the entire game, and that's when you sell your little speeder to this Jawa over here, and you get a shit ton of money, and it helps for an achievement, and that's just fun as hell. And that's really it. It's kind of going through story mode. This part right here, it's kind of a chore, but I don't know. It ranks a little better just for one, the Easter egg, and two, this feels like Tatooine. Like this definitely has that Tatooine feel to it, and I definitely appreciate that. And then the mini boss at the end with the elephant guy and the the stormtroopers. It's fun, and you can go to the cantina bar, and that's fun. And I like the atmosphere, and I like the cameras where there's the guy he has no droids allowed role. You have to destroy these fucking little camera barriers to even fucking get into the bar. That's fun. Like, I like that. It's just so GD long. Now for our 24th spot on this list, we're gonna go back to Naboo to Escape to Naboo. That gets the ranking of number 24. Now, the reason this one gets a little higher, I do like the character of, like, the Padme in the white makeup. I think her character design is really good. And I like this map better, of Naboo, better than the other one, simply because it's more tight, and I don't know, I just feel like I'm in a more believable palace, if that makes any sense at all. And it feels like every turn I take, it's got something for me. I don't really feel like there's much time for quiet. There's droids at every corner of the map, waiting to be my next target, and it's an exciting level, I will say. And I don't really have anything too negative to say. It's just it got a better atmosphere, but it is a smidge on the long side, but it does keep you entertained for the most part. Going to our 23 spot, first time we're getting to Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith has got some pretty solid levels, but this one, Ruin of the Jedi, it's just kind of mid. It's just kind of mid, in all honesty. It's not necessarily a bad level, but it's not one of the greats of the game. Now, I do like how in the beginning you're faced up against, like, the beginning cutscene. You see these hooded figures, and Yoda says no, and it's like these little clone troopers in Jedi disguises. I think that's cute, and like I said, with atmosphere, I like the feeling that this is like the Jedi Temple. There's parts to it to where it's like, oh wow, yeah, here's where the council sits, and oh, here's like the library, but it just kind of feels empty at parts. Like what is this? Why is there big gaps to your doom in the Jedi Temple? It feels like an odd choice to have there be like pitfalls to your death in the temple. So it's just kind of odd, like an odd choice to do that. I'm not really sure how to make of it. But I do like you go into like the security room and finding out, oh, Anakin is a child killer. That's no bueno. But like I said, it's long, but the atmosphere is still pretty neat, and I do like the disguised Jedi. That's fun. Now for the 22 spot, which is coincidentally my favorite number, we're gonna go back to Attack of the Clones to surprisingly a flying level. This is relatively high on the list. So yeah, let's get into that. Now the reason why this flying level in particular is so high on the list, it's just because it's merciful. Like, even though it's a torpedo level, every spot where you need torpedoes, in every single spot you need them, is a fixed point, and all you have to do is take care of guns that are fixed. There's no droids or anything, or not droids. There's no vehicles that you have to take care of. It's just take care of the mounted guns, and then blow up these little, I guess, generators to get to the door, and then repeat the process to the next area. And it's neat because like there is a mini boss, the only vehicle mini boss in the game, and that's neat. They could have been like once you got through the second gate, that was the end of the level. But the fact of the matter, even though she's an easy boss, it's still in the game, and it's cool, and I like it, and it's just a fun little way to end the level, and that's why I like it. This level is mercifully short. It's very easy, and it has a little bit of a different element to it, which I can definitely appreciate. And then the city of Coruscant is just so vibrant with all the ships going everywhere, and then this big like tunnel it's got. It's just personally like a pretty good flying level. In all honesty, I gotta give credit where credit's due. All right, now for our 21st spot, we're going to go to Empire Strikes Back. And we're going to go to the finale, Betrayal over Bespin. This one, I'm not necessarily sure they needed to put Boba Fett in as a boss fight. It just felt kind of weird getting down to like 1 health and then you have to chase after the guy. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but I don't know, it just felt a little off in a way. I mean, obviously you know that Boba can't die, but it just always felt a little weird to me. Give him down to 1 health and then he just runs away. But I think the reason why I personally rank this a little higher on the list, 1, Bespin is gorgeous, and 2, playing as Caped Lando was just such a treat because that is like one of my favorite outfits for any Star Wars character. Like Lando Calrissian in a cape is where it is at. And then the fact that you can kill citizens and Lando's melee is a kick to the face. Like that you can kick citizens in the face is just ridiculous. Like, you're dead. But yeah, I think a lot of it is to do with this. This is just like a fun little level. Rebuilding C-3PO is a nice little touch. They didn't have to do that, but they did. So that's also a little cool thing that they do. And you gotta fight for Millennium Falcon, which makes sense in this context. Because I know in the Mos Espa one, it didn't really make too much sense. This one does have a little helmet thing, but it doesn't really matter as much. It's not like the most annoying thing in the world. This feels like Cloud City, and there's some fun to it. So yeah. Now we're getting into the top 20, the games that don't necessarily, or the levels that don't necessarily annoy me, and I'm just kind of look forward to playing. So for our number 20 spot, the honor goes to The Phantom Menace, Invasion of Naboo. The reason why this one's up here is just like, I like the creatures, like this part in particular. I just love the fucking chaos that's going on. The droids chasing after the Gungans and the creatures and all this stuff. Like, it's chaos. It's utter chaos, and I love it. It's just fun. The reason why this got a little lower is I don't like the fact that Jar Jar can't attack. That was always a little bit annoying to me when first playing. It's just like, okay, he can jump super high. Is there a reason he can't fight back? Like, do you just want Jar Jar to die needlessly? If that's the case, I respect that, but I don't know. I just wish Jar Jar could be a little more useful instead of, like, Flappy Ear Boy jump good. But it does look like it's an impressive level, and I personally do like it, like the chaos and the droids and the Gungans and the setting. It's like I said, it's a good level. Just one little minor thing of Jar Jar not attacking, and if that's my only complaint, then I think that's a win. And for 19, we're just going to go a level back to Phantom Menace Chapter 1 Negotiations. So this one, I think, was just a great introduction to the game, because the first level you play, first level of the prequels, and you gotta open her up, boom, droids are right on your ass, like, you have a little bit of breathing time. and then the fight just starts, and it just it just doesn't stop. And there's every time you turn around, or every corner you do, droids. Well, not this one, but for the most part. You got the little T figure of a droid with you along, and then the little battle sequence at the end, like the big area with all the droids. It's pretty cool. Like, this is a fucking battlefield right here. Look at this. You just see them roll on out. And these droids are not here to screw around, and it's just great. Like, I love it. And these are fun little challenge droids to take care of. Because you're like, oh, how the heck do I take care of you? Oh, I gotta do a super attack on you. That's neat. And I like how the enemy is super strong, but it has a weakness you gotta exploit. And I'm already at the end. The level is mercifully short, as it should be, because it's the first level of the game. But it's a lot of fun, and they did a good job creating a fun level to introduce players to the game. Now for our number 18 spot. We're going to go to The Empire Strikes Back, and we're going to go to our first main little boss level, Cloud City Trap. Once again, Bespin looks really good. I like the whole setup of Luke and R2 just trying to fight the Empire along the way. But I think where this level like really shines is well through the boss battle. Like they do a really good job with the bosses in this whole game. The reason why this one ranks a little lower though is because Vader just has so many hearts. Like I think of all the bosses in the game, if you put all of his hearts together, it's even more so than Palpatine, which I don't think needs to be that way. I think Palpatine should have the biggest hearts, and Vader should like if you did him for the second biggest, that's fine. But you have this area where he has like 8 hearts, the next area where he has 8 hearts, the next area where he has 4 hearts, the next area where he has like 8 hearts. Again, it's just too much in all honesty. And they should have made it like a little less. Like sometimes less is more. And like you have to do this thing like trying to get the air on him 3 times, and it's just it just gets a little tedious, but the setting is just so cool. Like you're like, oh man, this is where fucking Han was frozen in carbonite, and where Vader went to fucking take care of Luke. Like, and then you got the end where you're outside, and it's just really cool. But the ending right here, it's just not the end. The boss fight here, biggest complaint, just too long. That's really it, and he has too many hearts. But it does exceed at like getting the surrounding area around you down. Like this to me feels like fucking Cloud City, and I like that. So yeah, there's really nothing else much to say. And while we're on episode 5, we're gonna go to the number 17th spot, Escape from Echo Base. Once again, level design is a huge thing for me when rating these games, and my god, like this is hot. Like I mean, I just love the ice aesthetic of the game. It's very pleasing. Some of the challenges or like the puzzles needed are kind of neat. Like you have to make like an air vent go up to lift C-3PO so he can get over this little hump because he can't fucking jump or anything, and you have to help repair the damn Millennium Falcon, and then there's one that's a slide that you have to click the buttons as you slide down it. It's just fun. Like there's no Jedi, there's no boss. It's just like a fun little level where you're trying to get from point A to point B. Well, I mean technically they all kind of are, but like it's neat, and I like the environment that this level portrays and what all you have to do to get to it. But yeah, that's really all I had to say for this one. Now for the 16th spot, we're going to go to Attack of the Clones. And for number 16, we're going to go to the finale chapter, Chapter 6, Count Dooku. Once again, another boss level. This one is really fun. I love this opening shot where you see like the desert around you. There's Dooku. Okay, but yeah, you can see him spawn the Geonosians on you, and you and Obi-Wan got to do this little hopping puzzle. And then the boss fight, it's pretty neat. I will rank this higher than the Vader one, just because it is shorter. But one of my nitpicks of it, there's a part where he throws stuff at you, and it's just really weird that it doesn't count as hearts. Like they should have given Dooku a few more hearts. That way, when you do damage, it shows the damage. But it was just always a weird choice that they did that. So I'm not really sure why they did that, but they did. If he just had a few more hearts to show the damage being done, I wouldn't have really minded it as much. But oh well, that's like I said, that's just a little nitpick. But that's really it. Like right here, where that should have been a heart. They should have given him more hearts, and that should have been a heart right there. But that's it. It's just the thing, just a nitpick. That's all it really is. But it's a good level. It's a fun boss level. And go to Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3 again. This time we're going to go to Chapter 2, Chancellor in Peril. This one is a really exciting level. You gotta fight a lot of droids in order to get to the Chancellor, and you have the fight of Dooku, and the only time in the game where you can fight the damn General Grievous bodyguards, and you got super battle droids in the mix, and droidicas, like the enemy combination. It's really fun. And you have this one section where you're running for dear fucking life from this little like platform that's coming out. Like the wall is going to crush you, so you have to make her get away. And the Dooku boss fight's pretty fun, and he's got a lot of droids guarding him. And this is just a really fun level of saving the Chancellor, and not too much negative to say on this one. Like a lot of excitement, a boss fight. Like this level has a fair amount of stuff to it. All right, number 14. All right, last time I'm picking on A New Hope, but this is definitely the best level of this episode, Chapter 2, Through the Junglan Wastes. Now, surprisingly enough, this is one of the 5 levels to where the length of time needed for like the challenge is longer. This one is like you need 12 minutes in order to do this, but I think it's in its benefit because this is Tatooine to a fucking T. And I love fighting the damn Tuskens and the death sounds that they make, and the fact that you go through like a Jawa's crawler, and there's womp rats in here, and there's like random droids throughout it, like little junk droids, and you have to go over these like pits and rescue C-3PO and R2-D2. Like this is a fun damn level. And I really wish more of Episode 4 in this game was like this, but it's so silly because like the premise of it is like C-3PO and R2 got stolen, and Obi-Wan finds Luke and it's like, oh hey, let's get your droids back. One little nitpick is I thought it was weird that there was stormtroopers at Obi-Wan's hut. That was a little odd for me, a little weird of a choice. It could have just been more Tuskens or Jawas, but they were the Sand Troopers, so that's always fun. But just this level overall, it's just so fucking cool, and it just kind of breaks my heart that like most of Episode 4 is on the lower side, but this is a damn good level, and even though it's longer, I don't mind it just because it's fun and different. I live in that scream. Ah! Oh my god, it's so fucking nostalgic. I love it. But yeah, that's it for Through the Jungle and Wastes. Number 13, Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back. This time we're going to Chapter 4, Dagobah. Once again, talking about fucking atmosphere like this. This level oozes atmosphere. Like, I love the swamp aesthetic. I love how R2 can get in the water, and he's got a damn periscope. That is a cute as shit Easter egg. They could have made that instant death or something, but they didn't, and it's fun. And like the little boss fight that Yoda and Luke have with Vader is fun. And I like the fact that Luke cannot lift the damn ship. You have to switch to Yoda's character to do that. That is such a neat little detail that I love. Like, Luke can lift it halfway and he can't do it. That is fun. And I love when training Luke for the first time, you have to get Yoda on your back. That's also fun. Like, there was a lot of fun little details in this game that I just, or in this level, that I really adore and I love, and it's just really fucking well done. And then, yeah, the bats are a little silly, but I mean, you got to give them some kind of challenge throughout this, otherwise it's just it wouldn't be as engaging. But overall, not really much negative things to say about this level. And then for number 12, we're going to go back to Attack of the Clones, and we're going to Chapter 3, Droid Factory. Like, this one, it's so creepy because you just see these damn Geonosians just come out through the walls. Like, this is an excellent fucking way to start the level. And then you get inside, and it's just this massive droid factory. Like, it's called Droid Factory because the level's a damn droid factory. And I love the sounds that it's making along the way, and this big old conveyor belt, and you'll get squished by this one thing. Like, that was a threat in the actual movie because Anakin was fighting for his life to not get squished, which got his lightsaber. And it's just really good. The setting is excellent. There's threats at every corner. And then at the end, when you save Obi-Wan, you're almost there, but get captured by this huge group. And of course, there's this huge group guarding him. But it's just a fun level. Nothing really much else you can say about this. It's just fun. It does what it says. It's a droid factory. And I think for the 11th spot, this is going to go to Discovery on Camino. I think it barely gets ahead of the droid factory just because I think Camino's done with a little bit more love. Like, I love the water animations they have to do. One of my favorite little details in the game is when you see the damn clones. It's just like a little, like, to represent their feet, it's like a little Lego brick. That is funny as hell. Every time I see that cutscene, that always gives me a smile. And then the world around you is like super cool. It's nice and sleek, and of course they got the rain down. And then the fight with Jango Fett, it's pretty neat. I like his final fight, and you got fucking Boba Fett in the ship firing on you, so you need R4 to distract him with the turrets. It's just a neat little level. It's not too long. It's just a medium range level, and just look at this when I pull this lever. Tell me that's not the funniest shit. It's just a little Lego brick. That is funny as hell. I love that. I love this level. Now, we're finally getting into the top 10, where things just go from good to great. Like, from here on out, I really don't have much negative to say about these. And surprisingly, for the number 10 spot, it's actually going to go to a flying level. Yeah, I know, real crazy. Like, who would have saw that coming? But yeah, you just start out and it's in this like weird third-person point of view, and there's fucking just battles going all over. Like, they did a really good job letting you know that this is some serious shit. There's turrets, there's ships, there's just guns everywhere. The one thing it takes a little getting used to is you go up to go down and down to go up. But once you get the hang of it, it's not too hard to really get. And another thing why I really love this level, this is the only level in the game where you can get True Jedi, all the mini kits, and the red brick in one go. Unlike the one fucking Secret Plans one where you can't get any mini kits or red brick, you can get all of it. And it's just, I like that you can get it all in one go, and it's just fun. Like, tell me this isn't like a fucking battlefield right there. This is intense, and there's just chaos going on all around you, and you got just one path to follow, which I think that was really smart on their part. I feel like they could easily have been like, oh, get these torpedoes and blow up this one ship, and then get some more torpedoes and blow up another ship. But no, I just like how you're just going on this straight path. You have just a little bit of control over where you want to go, right, left, up, down, and then you get, like, you stack up coins or the studs through fucking killing the enemy droids. Like, this is just a neat level because it's just cool. Like, there's nothing really too much else to say about it. It's just fucking cool and intense. And I firmly believe that this flying level 100% deserves to be on the top 10. It's just fun and cool, and I don't really have anything else to say. For number 9, we're going to stay on episode 3, and we're going to go to Defense on Kashyyyk. Now, for the longest time, this was actually really low on my list just because I didn't care for playing as Yoda, just because he's so wonky with his walk and the cane. But this is a good level. Like, this is a really good level because I just love the big ass trees of Kashyyyk, and then you get the level later on where it's fucking like the beach, and this is the only level in the entire game where you can fight both the separatist droids and the clones, and I love it, especially the beach. I think the beach scene alone just really wins it for me in regards to this level, because you have these clones and these droids chasing after each other, and there's some wreckage that you got to take care of. And there also is, I know I said this is the only time they do it, but there is a little hostage thing that they do, and I like the hostage thing. I don't really mind it too much. Just, oh, hey, this enemy has your good guy over here, go take care of him. Like, I don't mind that. I think that's a fun little mechanic that's incorporated. I don't really have anything negative to say about that. That's why I didn't really mind it as much as in Theed, because even though the level was super duper hella long, it had that going for it, which I liked. And in this one, it saved the Wookiees from the clones, and that's neat. But no, just a really good overall level, just kind of combining the Separatists and the Republic enemies against the Jedi, and it's just fun. And then you had to set up a little escape pod for Yoda at the end. It's just a nice little level at the end of the day. Alright, for our number 8 spot, we're going to go to Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And we're going to go to Chapter 1, Jabba's Palace. This one already starting out really good. It just right off the gate, you're supposed to build this little thing and then lure out his 3 little shooting turrets to get the thing open in the first place. And even though it's got the damn helmet thing to get through from point A to point B, it also has these fun little gimmicks where you put up a radio. And look at that! That's fucking hilarious! They're just jamming out! I love that! And they only swing their axes, so you can avoid them no problem. But it's just such a fun little level where you're just going through Jabba's palace. You gotta get the droids back, and at the very end, you gotta fight a fucking Rancor. And then you pull the gate down on him and crush him. Like, you pull the levers and it skips right to the cutscene where he dies. And it's just so neat. Like, I love it. It's a good level. It's just nothing really bad to say about it. You gotta take care of a little bit of puzzles here and there. But it's not bad at all, and just overall a really fun game. Just they did a great job doing Jabba's palace, and the Gamorrean guards are super fun. And then Luke can fucking choke him. He can choke the shit out of them. That's hilarious. But yeah, overall great level. Love how you can use the radio to distract the guards. Love how you can see them rocking out on an axe. Love how you can kill a Rancor and lure them with the guard. Just kudos to this level. And for number 7, we're literally just going to go to the next level, the Great Pit of Carkoon. Just, I love how you start on the level on your separate ships, and your goal is to get to the big ship by working your way down. There's people shooting you from the other side, so it's very chaotic. So you go from one ship while being shot at to this ship, and then you go to the next ship, and it's a fucking little mini boss fight with Boba Fett. And once you go through there, you have to go through. You gotta set up a turret and blow that up to get to your next area. Do a little puzzle to make an elevator. And when you get to that, you gotta start a fucking. You start a damn disco to get to the next area. Like, what a fun little security measure puzzle. Like, it's so silly and stupid. I love it. And then you get up top, and it's the only time in the entire game where you have 7 characters at the same time. You got R2-D2, C-3PO, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, Leia, Chewie. Like, all 7 are there at the same time, and it's great. I love that. And then you have to put a turret up to blow up the ships, and it's just, this level fucking is rad as hell. I love it. We're going to go to Phantom Menace, and for our number 6 spot, we're going to do Chapter 6, Darth Maul. I love where it just starts out. There's just this little pit, and you have to fire back on the droids. And then you got to throw that back at Maul. Of course, you can cheat and not have to worry about that. But also, during the entirety, it's playing Duel of the Fates, and that song just absolutely slaps. And Darth Maul's character design is just so nice and simple, but it works so well. And so you're just following him through this cat and mouse game, which is exactly what he wanted in the damn episode 1. He wanted to get to that point to separate Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, but they had to do it a little differently, but I think they did it well. But just overall, this is such a cool little setting to make the final level to the first episode of the game, and it's just so neat seeing like the platforms come down, and then you gotta take care of these radio droids to get to him, and then the final area, it's just fucking sick. All this is just so fucking good, and that's all really has to be said about it. Maul's got it all. Top 5 spots, these ones at this point are pretty much perfect, and we're just gonna stay at episode 1 and go to Chapter 4, the Mos Espa Pod Race. Yep, there was two vehicle missions in the top 10, and yeah, even one in the top 5, because this one, it's a perfect vehicle mission. Well, maybe not perfect, because it's not in like the top like 1 spot, but this is just so cool where you gotta drive through all the tracks and get on the green pads to go faster. And at the 3rd one, if you don't beat them, you have to start over, because there's a little cutscene of Anakin's like, oh fuck, what's going on? I guess it's like an alternate reality, and you just start over and do it all again. But it's just so neat where you're just trying to desperately chase after Sebulba and go through the desert. Like this one, you actually have to actively be engaged in, and it's just a fun as fuck vehicle level. Like there's really no notes or anything bad to say about it. It's just good. It's just really, really good. And I like how in the second lap that the fucking cave comes, or the little plateau comes crashing down. You have to go ahead and beat that. And then the third one, you have to take an alternate track because it got blocked. It's just a really fun vehicle mission, and they did a stellar job with it, especially focusing on the speed of it, because pod racing is just cool as hell. And then in the second lap, you got rocks fucking flying on you. Like first they're shooting at you, then you're shooting at you, and there's rocks falling. And then the third one, there's rocks in the way, and then they're shooting at you still. It's so good. I like how they try to mix it up a little bit. Not too much, because this is the same track, but just enough to keep you engaged, and it's mwah. Just mwah. Alright, for number 4, we're gonna head back to episode 3 again. Go to the last chapter, chapter 6, Darth Vader. I really like it starting out. You got this sense of urgency to just get the fuck out of here from point A, like, to point B. There's explosions going on, the platform's falling down, like, you always have to be on the move. Like, that's neat. I like that. And then when it gets to the next area, you have to build these little pillars just to give yourself more time to help stabilize the building. And then you're feeling constantly rushed. And I really like that about this level. Like, that platform slowly falls, and then in the next area, it's just this fucking lava pit that you have to look out for. And then finally, at the tail end of it, it's you and your co-op buddy versus each other. And at the end, if you're Anakin, you kill Obi-Wan. There's like a little secret cutscene that plays out of how that goes. So, but this is just a damn good interpretation of like the confrontation of Obi-Wan and Anakin at the end of episode 3. And the team who was behind this should just be super proud of themselves, because this is just fun. Like, there's really no other word to describe it. It's just fun. And then you have to get on this pillar and hope you make it and jump across last second. It's just so cool. Now for our number 4, last episode 3-1, we're going to Chapter 3, General Grievous. The reason why this one just barely etched out Darth Vader is because there's a little too much reliance on parkour. But for this one, I just think it's a little more intimate. This is the only game, or the only level in the whole game where you have one enemy, and it's Grievous. And it's so funny, because in the Clone Wars he's interpreted as a coward, and he's always got to use like droids as backup. But it's just so funny how this is the only level to where he's your only challenge. Like that to me is just funny, and it's just such a personal fight. It's just you and him. And he's just so fucking cool. I mean, what they did to him in like the Clone Wars video game is just straight up murder, because this design of Grievous is fucking epic. And look how he just blocks and swings his lightsaber. He is just a cool as shit character. And I feel like this level was just nice and sweet and short, and he had the appropriate amount of hearts, and it's just a damn good boss fight. And then for our number 2 spot, we're going to go to episode 2. And then we're going to go to a level that it was my favorite for a longest time, but that kind of got outmatched by another one. We're doing Jedi Battle. This one, it is fucking pandemonium, and I absolutely love it. I have to try and kill everybody, and then rescue Padme and Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then you have to kill even more droids, and then you have to kill Jango, which is a fun little boss fight. But there's just so much chaos. There's droids and Jedi and Geonosians, and it's fucking crazy. You gotta deal with like a shit ton of droidicas and super battle droids, and like I said, this fucking level, it knows what it's about, and there's nothing wrong with that. But this level, it's just so good. There's a little something for everything. I love this arena. It reminds me of a lot of the Grievous boss battle, where it basically just a small little map, but well, it's not too small. It's not small as the General Grievous one, but it's just a big arena, and that's exactly what it should be, because that's where you fight. And then at the end, you're just trying to kill as many people as possible, and it's just fucking pandemonium. And I love it, love it, love it. But that's really all there is to say about this level. It was my favorite for the longest time, but I think the number one spot is rightfully deserved. And to no one's surprise, we're going to go to Return of the Jedi, Episode 6, and we're going to go to Chapter 5, Jedi Destiny. This level is so fucking phenomenal. I think this is a perfect Lego boss fight. He has just an insane amount of hearts, which I think he should have been the character with the largest amount of hearts. And I love how you had to be Vader and Luke, because in the movies, Vader sees that he can't take on Luke, so he lifts Palpatine up and kills him. But I think this plays into fucking everybody's fantasy of what would it be like if Anakin and Vader teamed up to fight Palpatine, and Luke and Vader teamed up to fight Palpatine, and it's just so neat how you have to use the dark side and light side elements to work your puzzles. And then the guards that you have to face, the Emperor's guards, they're fucking tough enemies, and his lightning attacks are super cool. I love the fucking little path of lightning that he makes. That's a cute little puzzle that they make. But it's just a fucking perfectly beautiful boss fight. And then the music going through it, when it's not doing intense, it does that nice little opera stuff, and it's fucking epic. And there's really nothing else to say. Like, this is peak Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga right here. Nothing really can top this one. For my longest time, the Jedi battle was the top, but there was just so much love and care, and the musical cues were just on point for this level. You can't beat. And I love where you have the final part of the fight is fight him right here, so you can just throw him off the side. It's just overall a phenomenal level. Great way to pretty much near end the game. Best boss in the game. It's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. So that's where this rightfully goes. Jedi Destiny is the best level in Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. Now, from going into order to rate every chapter, I think it's very fitting. I determined it by, if you were in the 36th spot, you got 36 points, and I sorted them from who had the most points to who had the least points. So if we're going in order, in dead last place, you got Episode 4, where the 19th mission had 28 points, the 20th mission had 14 points, the 25th mission had 30 points, the 23rd mission had 29 points, and then the 24th mission had 31 points. In total, it had 157 points. That's the highest ranking that this has been given. For the next one would be Episode 5. And sadly, with Episode 4, not a single one cracked the top 10. The highest one in Episode 4 was at the 14th spot. Then for Episode 5, you have the 25th mission was at 33 points. The 26th mission was 17 points. The The 27th mission was 35 points. The 28th mission was 13 points. The 29th mission was 18 points. And the 30th mission was 21 points. In total, it gave it 137 points. And once again, it didn't crack the top 10. Its highest was number 13, so a little better than 4. But overall, it did 20 points better than Episode 4. The next one, funnily enough, was Return of the Jedi, which it had a lot of good and a lot of bad, but it didn't do so well overall. For the 31st mission, it got 8 points. For the 32nd mission, it got 7 points. And then this one killed it. For the 33rd mission, it got 36 points. And then for the 34th mission, it got 27 points. For the 35th mission, it got 1 point because it had the best level. And then for the 36th mission, it got 34 points. So a lot of 30s in there. And after all that, it got 113 points. So it did do like 24 points better than the last one. And then again, for the next one, the highest ranking one was Episode 1. The first mission got 19 points. The second mission got 20 points. The third mission got 24 points. The fourth mission got 5 points. The fifth mission got 26 points. And the sixth mission got 6 points. And if you add that up, it got a total of 100 points. So it did a little bit better than Episode 6. I think the boss the vehicle mission and the boss battle just really put it over the edge. Then next, the runner-up got, for the 7th mission, got 22 points. For the 8th mission, got 11 points. For the 9th mission, got 12 points. For the 10th mission, really helped it out, got 2 points. For the 11th mission, got 32 points. And then for the 12th mission, got 16 points. In total, bringing Episode 2 to 95 points. So beat Episode 1 by 5 points. And then, to no surprise, Episode 3 got number 1. And it not only got in the top 10, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but there are 4 slots in Episode 3 that were in the top 10, with the 13th mission being 10 points, the 14th mission being 15th, the 15th mission being 3, the 16th mission being 5, the 17th mission being 23 at the highest, and then the 18th mission being number 4, with a grand total of 64 points. Yeah, that is my ranking for all the chapters and all the levels in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Keeping in mind, this is an opinion, so, if you don't agree with me, you just have a wrong opinion, but that's okay. That's gonna do it. I just wanted to share that to the world, but yeah, bye.